It's new. Get ready.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode number 20 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Tyler, and I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Keiran. Keiran, buddy, what's happening with you? What's going on this week? You got a new mic and a headset I see over there.
I do.
You got a smile on his face because of this.
New mic, new headset, kind of slimming down my setup a bit, so getting rid of a few things. But yeah, other than that, doing pretty good. I'm in a good mood today.
Oh, nice. I think it's because maybe what he did before he started, before we got on, which is why he's in a good mood. Maybe you went outside and just exterminated every daddy long legs that is in a 5-mile vicinity of you. Perhaps that's what you did. And you're just like, yes, I did good.
I didn't do that. I did vacuum off like a massive spider off my wall, like literally like this big.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So doing that, you're just like, I'm safe.
Yeah.
The home is safe.
Yeah. I was like, either hoover up or just burn the house down.
And you didn't have to do the latter one. So everybody still gets to have a home and you get to be safe and spider free.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. Glad to hear that. I'm doing pretty well. It's been it's been kind of a busy week, but not the busiest. Work's been good. I got one more week before I am like fully taking over this new position I'm doing. But this past week I was like, all right, you know what? I'm actually getting very comfortable with the new different things I have to do and everything. So I think this next coming week should be pretty easy going. And then once I'm fully in it, I'm fully in it. And it's going to be off to the races from there. But it's been good so far. So that's been my week. Things have been good. Looks like things have been good for both of us, really, overall.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I said, this is the Play to Win podcast, a show where we break down weekly gaming news through in-depth discussion. You could watch the episodes or listen to them on podcast services, many different podcast services, every Monday on YouTube, or as I said, different podcast services. Subscribe to us over on YouTube, Play to Win, obviously. Turn on notifications over there, hit the bell, that way you know when videos go live as soon as they go live. We post other videos on Fridays as well. They could be anything from review, like my most recent Ratchet and Clank review. It could be like an advice video, like when Keiran did one talking about how to preload games on your Xbox, or it could be like an analysis or commentary video, such as when Keiran was saying Xbox Live Gold needs to die, essentially.
Yep.
Or I forgot what my most recent commentary analysis one type was. I forgot. It's been a bit since I've done one, but I did one about how battle passes could be better. And basically what I suggested is going to happen with Halo Infinite. So that's a thing. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's super cool and exciting. But yeah, we post different cool videos on Fridays and everything like that. So yeah, leave comments, likes, reviews, shares the show, everything, YouTube, podcast services, everywhere. And you can follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game for updates on the show and other fun little things that we may post over on our social media platforms. But that's that for all the housekeeping news. Today, we got a couple different topics that we're going to talk about. Those being, again, continuing on with some more Activision Blizzard updates because more news keeps on coming out about the company. An Apex Legends dev was fired for some of their past comments they made years and years ago. We're going to recap some of the highlights from the Nintendo and Xbox indie showcases that happened this week. And then we'll also talk about some of our favorite games from this year so far. Ones that have come out this year, but others that we just might have played that came out like in the past, but the ones that we played this year. We'll talk about that as well. Before we get into all those topics, though, we have a couple brief mentions to go through. And we'll get through them, of course, as quickly as possible. Are you ready, Keiran? Of course, as always, if you got anything to say, just throw that hand up and I will just toss it to you. So starting it off, QuakeCon's schedule has been revealed. The all-digital event will be taking place from August 19th to the 21st. It's going to be 3 days of dev talks, in-depth looks at games. There's going to be some tournaments and other things going on. So that'll be a cool time. Battlefield 2042 released a short film called Exodus that kind of gives you like some story stuff, like some backstory on the world of Battlefield 2042. I watched it this morning. It's actually really cool. It's like a CG short film, and all. It's like 10 minutes long, and it actually reveals two of the characters from Battlefield 4 are in it, and one of them looks like he's going to have a prominent role in the story, or like the overall arcing story for Battlefield 2042. It's very cool. So if you have not watched it yet, definitely will give it a watch. Highly recommend that. I really think that if we don't have since we're not getting a campaign, as someone in the comments said, I would love to actually get more of these like short films for Battlefield 2042.
Yep.
If they're going to be as good as this one. If they are, I will 100% be on board for getting more. Splitgate, recently blew up in popularity. First person shooter that's a mix of Halo and Portal. It's on consoles now. It's been on PC for a bit, but the devs were saying that it might possibly come to Switch and mobile at some point in the future. It's part of their vision. We will talk about that a bit more later in the show because I was actually playing it a bit last night. Played like 3-4 matches. Cool game. Apex Legends cross progression isn't going to come until 2022 at the earliest because it's a beast. That's a beast to handle, and it's a mess, to try and even get cross progression working. So yeah, that's coming. That won't come until next year at the earliest. Phil Spencer, he did an interview with Games Radar. I haven't read the entire interview, but one of the headlines from it is that Game Pass is not coming to any other consoles as of right now. I've read that portion of the interview. He basically said that other platform holders, they're just not interested in having Game Pass on their platforms right now, which honestly is not a surprise. I don't think anyone would have expected that anytime soon. So, don't count your chickens on that one. Don't expect that to happen in like the next year or so. It ain't happening anytime soon. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice got an Xbox Series X and S optimization patch. So now you get, DirectX ray tracing. There's 3 performance modes. I think one of them is I think it's called Performance, Resolution, and then Enhanced. And Enhanced is the one that gives you ray tracing and all. I think there's also some other performance boosts and stuff going on with this optimization patch as well for Hellblade. But that is neat. Interesting that, I guess it's not interesting, but I guess it also kind of is interesting that PS5 didn't get this optimization patch. It's only the Xbox version, which I think is weird. Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why? That's a bit weird. Just like with Psychonauts 2. There's no PS5 version of it. There's only a PS4 version of it. And the PS4 version doesn't have HDR at all, but the Xbox versions of the game do.
Yeah.
It's just I guess in that case, they were only promised, because Psychonauts 2 started as a Kickstarter, if I'm right. I think.
Really sure, yeah.
So I guess they're fulfilling hey, it was only promised to the PS4. It wasn't promised the PS5 version. So I guess they're hey, we don't got to do that for you. But even that, I'm just really? Really? You couldn't do a PS5 version? You couldn't why does the PS4 version have HDR? I don't understand. It's very silly in my opinion. But is what it is. You still looking that up, or are you ready?
It's a fig.co, which I assume is an alternative to Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah. So something like that. I was pretty sure it was fan sourced, crowdfunded.
Yeah.
At least at the start when it was first announced and all. Xbox, speaking more about them though, they are holding a Gamescom showcase on August 24th, and they're going to be giving, quote, new looks at upcoming games. It is starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. UK time. And on the Xbox Wire blog, they say that we will be getting in-depth updates from some of their previously announced Xbox Studio games, alongside some third-party titles as well, including some, as they say here, quote, some of the incredible titles coming to Xbox this holiday, upcoming releases to our monthly subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, and much more, end quote. I don't think we're going to be getting anything huge from this. I know they're saying in-depth updates, and if I'm right, they announced that Paris Lilly, and I forgot who the other person, 2 people are going to be hosting this event though. Yeah. Paris Lilly, he hosted the Xbox developers kind of talk that they did after the June showcase. I think it was Xbox Game Showcase Extended, I think is what they called it. And that one, it was more just like, hey, we're talking with the devs, getting more just like insight into what the game, like the development of it all and stuff like that. So honestly, I'm expecting this to be kind of similar to that based on just like what they've already said about it and what they've announced about it. So I wouldn't go into this event expecting like, oh my gosh, we're seeing perfect dark. We're seeing, Fable game. I'm not expecting anything like that. Like if you see any footage from them, it might be like, maybe it's like a quick snippet or so, like, like off some camera footage of like the computer of them working on it on the computer, or like a real quick 2-3 second snippet of like someone like running around. I wouldn't expect much from this in terms of like big reveals. It sounds like it's just, hey, this is what's going on. Here's some stuff coming to Game Pass and things like that.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anything. I think the most notable thing we'll get from this, but I don't think this is gonna happen, is a Halo Infinite release date. But I think that's the biggest thing that might happen here. I don't expect it to.
I think that is very possible, given something else that comes at the very end of this. I'll get to that in a second. Not necessarily a game. It's like tangentially game related here. But I threw it in here because it's tangentially game related. Idris Elba is cast as Knuckles in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. Saw this and I was just like, what? I was like, what even is this? Like, I have yet to watch the first one. I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu. I have yet to watch. I intend to, just getting around to it in time and all like that. But now I'm like, okay, so I got to watch the first one because I just want to see the second one to see how he is as Knuckles. And I mean, I heard the first was actually not bad. I heard the first one's fairly good. So, hey. That's interesting. Idris Elba has been cast as Knuckles, so there is that. It is funny. Again, it's getting slightly off topic here. I saw a meme about this. Do you watch The Office?
I do.
Do you remember when Idris Elba's character, Charles, whatever his name was like the boss there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that happened for a bit. I think it was like season 5 or something that happened. So like all the, like not all, but like some of the women in the office were like swooning over him and everything. And there's a part where he's talking to the camera. He's like, I kind of have that effect on women. Just kind of, he's like, he knows how it is. So someone made a meme of that. And they were like, I have that effect on Rouge the Bat. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. All right, a few more here. Life is Strange, the remastered collection, has been delayed to 2022 because they just want to give the devs more time to work on it. It was originally supposed to come out on September 30th, which was only 20 days after True Colors comes out on September 10th. No, kind of a bit small, like a short gap there. They want to give the devs more time to work on the game, so it's been delayed to next year. That's all great. Don't want to crunch on, have them crunch or like have them overworking themselves to get this out. They did also say though that Life is Strange True Colors has been delayed for the Switch. It's still coming this year. They just don't have a date on it yet. And at the same time, they announced the Wavelengths DLC for True Colors. That will be coming on September 30th instead of the remastered collection. And it takes place about a year before True Colors, and it has you playing as Steph Gingrich. She was a side character in the Life is Strange Before the Storm prequel to like the original Life is Strange. She was a side character in that. She was returning in True Colors as like she's like a radio DJ in the new town and everything. So the Wavelengths DLC has you playing as her and going through her story and all. So I'm excited for that. That's really cool. The Steam Deck does not get a performance boost when you dock it, unlike the Switch. Sorry if you were hoping for that. It just pops it up on the screen for you. Now, I think these are the 3 biggest brief mentions we have here. Possibly the biggest one is coming up first right here, though. Kotaku reported that a GTA remastered trilogy is in development over at Rockstar Dundee. They're leading development on this trilogy. The trilogy is GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and San Andreas. They are all getting just, basically kind of remastered in a sense. The UI, according to the report in Kotaku sources, the UI that for each of the games is still going to have the same style that the original games had, but it's going to be updated slightly. In terms of gameplay, they're trying to stick as close to the original as possible. But I imagine they're still going to try and like make the gameplay feel updated for the modern day, and not like you're playing a PS2 game now. Like they'll try to update some things, but keep it true to what it was in the past. But what's really interesting and exciting is that it's actually apparently supposed to come out this fall in either October or November for every major platform. So PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Switch, and mobile as well, and Stadia. I think that is actually really cool. That's really crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I've only ever played GTA 3, and I never even finished it, but I played it a lot as a kid. A lot as a kid. If they drop these, also it's all going to be in one package as one digital only, one collection.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could buy each one piecemeal or anything like that.
Yeah.
One collection, all digital. Not gonna lie, depending on the price, I may buy this twice. Might buy it once on the PS5 and once on the Switch. I'm not lying, because I love GTA. GTA is amazing. So yeah, and they also say that the visuals will be like a mix of old and new. It's being remastered in Unreal, and one of the Kotaku sources said that the game kind of looks like a heavily modded version of like classic those old GTA games. So really curious to see what this actually ends up looking like when we see it, when it gets announced and all like that. But if it does come this year, that'll be a crazy fall for GTA.
Yeah,
because it's this remastered trilogy plus the next gen version of 5. What?
Yeah,
Rockstar's gonna have my money this holiday season. That's all I can say. It's all I can say right there.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll chime in. I actually have a question. When you say you've only played GTA, is that out of that collection or
no, of that collection? I've played 4 and 5. That's what I meant from that trilogy. I only played 3.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, who hasn't played GTA 5? But
no, I've played 4 and 5. I've played 4 a bunch. The DLC for 4, I played 5, PS3 and PS4. I played 5 like 3 times actually, like straight through.
Yeah, no, this I will get because I haven't played any of these games. I've never played 3, San Andreas or Vice City, so this I will absolutely get if it comes out this year. Remaster of 5 for next gen, probably not.
I'm gonna buy all of them. I'm sorry. I love GTA 5. I will replay that game a 4th time with ray tracing, 4K, and I'll probably do a whole other playthrough with the 60 FPS. I'm playing that game. I'm doing it. They're gonna get my money. They just will. Some people are like, will sell themselves for Pokemon. Some people will sell their souls for other things. I will happily do it for anything Kingdom Hearts, and I'll do it for GTA because GTA is just that cool.
Yeah. One last very quick thing which I mentioned before we start recording is Dundee is an hour and a half away from me.
Yeah. So, hey, Keiran, roll up to the studio.
Yeah.
Roll up to the studio, peek through a window or something. Peek through a window. Be like a mile away, just like, get like the sniper scope with not the sniper scope, but like the sniper lens for a camera or something. Just like get the footage like that, something, please. 2 more here. So Abandoned, that PS5 game. Well, game in quotes, because what the heck even is this at this point? They've been teasing this trailer app that they got. It went live, or it went like the app was available for download like a week or 2 ago, and they were like, "All right, the trailer app is going to get updated. It's going to be like a video, like a trailer tease or whatever, coming this week." The day came, and then it was like, "Yeah, actually, hold on, guys, hold on. We had issues. We had technical issues. We noticed a graphical glitch, so we had to go fix it, which caused multiple engine issues. So it's delayed." People were like, "What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense." It just doesn't. Meanwhile, that very same day, they posted like this short 4 or 5 second teaser on Twitter, right? Where it's just like you see this guy walking in like some house or whatever, and like you see like just like the waist down from a certain angle. So like you don't know when you don't see really what he's wearing. He's wearing like a jacket, jeans, and some shoes. He's walking. Just see him walk real quick, 4 or 5 seconds, right? So they put that out. I forgot what day that was. And then that same day, "Hey guys, sorry, we screwed the pooch. We can't put this out today." So then the next day comes, and actually that same day, they didn't give an explanation as to why. They just said, "Hold on, we have technical issues. It's delayed." The next day, they gave an update. And that's when they said, this is what happened. And that's when people were like, it doesn't make any sense. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So then yesterday, they finally fixed it. And they put out whatever the video was, right? A 5 gig update went out. Okay. Now I was out there when all this was going on. I heard that it came out. I was like, all right, cool. I'll check it out when I get back home. I wasn't on Twitter from like 4 p.m. to like 10 p.m. I wasn't on Twitter. So I get back home and I go on Twitter and I see some people talking about it. And I swear I saw someone say this. I was like, you're lying. Turns out what they updated, what they put in the app was the exact same video they put on Twitter. I'm not joking.
Wait,
it
the
was
5 second?
Yes, it was the exact same 5-second video from Twitter that they put in the app, which made me even say anymore. What the heck is going on with this? You had a graphical glitch that you claimed had a graphical glitch that caused multiple engine issues. And it was just for the same 5-second clip you put on Twitter days ago. Are you serious? What are you talking? This doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Which at this point, I'm sorry. If you're just an audio listener, I'm dying over here. Like you, like visual watching me, I'm dying over here. I could barely get this out. It's like, what even is this anymore? I don't know what this is. And like in the app, it's just like, yeah, this was just like the introduction. Next, there's like another teaser trailer. Then there's like a full trailer. Then there's gonna be like a gameplay demo or two or something like that. And it's like, what are you all doing over there? Like, is this real anymore? Like, who's behind this? And honestly, as I've seen some people say, there's only 2 outcomes for this. And we've said this before, but after this shenanigans that happened this week, these 2 things stand to be true, so much more true than ever before. 1, this is Hideo Kojima pulling a fast one on everyone, and he gets a pass for it, kind of, sort of. Or 2, this is some random indie studio that is just like nose diving their career in record time. Because what the heck is even? This is just a mess of marketing, promotion, like letting just everything. It's just a mess. I have no idea what to make of any of this. And yeah, who knows when the next thing for Abandoned's gonna come? I don't know, but hopefully it'll be less of a mess than this. But 9 out of 10, it's not gonna be.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just some indie studio like you say, nose bombing their game, then everyone's gonna abandon it.
You are not the first to make that joke, but it works. It just
Still
works.
proud.
Ooh, okay. That was such a good laugh. Sorry that brief mention took a bit longer, but it was too funny. Final brief mention here. Call of Duty Vanguard, it's leaked. Images of like the game's key art and like the pre-order bonuses have leaked and everything. It's actually called Vanguard. That was not just a code name. It's called Call of Duty Vanguard. The key art just has like some soldiers in like some World War II outfits and everything running. Like some of the pre-order bonuses for an open beta, different specialists for you just like to use in the game. Not specialists like in Black Ops 4, but like they have in the past couple games. Just like, hey, this is the character I'm gonna play as in multiplayer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no release date for it though in the leaks or anything like that. The Call of Duty Twitter page has also been kind of cheeky about like teasing and everything. Like they're on their Twitter page, they posted this short snippet of like this camera moving over this building, and you see a bunch of planes flying, but on top of all the planes, it says leaks and rumors. So they've been pretty cheeky and everything, but they're in full promotion for this game, so that's happening. Going back to the thing about Halo, real quick, how you said you think that the Gamescom showcase is where we'll get the release date. If Call of Duty's release date comes before that, then yes, I would not be surprised if we get the Halo release date afterwards, because Phil Spencer already said that they're waiting on other pieces to be announced and like date wise before they set Halo's release date.
Yeah,
because there's like they say other third party things going on. And of course, Battlefield's end of October or beginning of October. I forgot exactly what the date was for that. And Call of Duty will probably be October or November. Halo's going to kind of want to try to not be sandwiched in between. It's good. It's weird. So once Call of Duty gets announced, which will probably be next week, this coming week, actually, the week that this goes live, we'll probably get Vanguard's release date. Halo Infinite's date would not be surprised if it's like the next week or two after that.
22nd of October for Battlefield.
And that's what I thought in my head. That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't too sure on it. So yeah, those are all of our brief mentions. Honestly, we got through some of them, most of them pretty quickly, but them last three were a bit of a doozy. I still can't get over Abandoned. Dear, what the heck? What the heck, man? What the heck? All right, but now we're going to go into our main news stories of the episode, and we're going to continue on with some more Activision stuff. We were just talking about Call of Duty Vanguard, but we still got all the Activision Blizzard stuff to talk about. Again, in the fallout of this lawsuit that Activision Blizzard is dealing with, in case you were not aware, Activision Blizzard is being sued by the state of California for terrible workplace conditions and how they treat women over there in terms of sexual harassment, discrimination, pay disparities, a number of different things. We did one long episode where we essentially talked about that for the entirety of the episode. In the second episode, we talked about the walkout that Blizzard employees did the following week. So definitely go give those two episodes a watch or a listen if you have not already for all the news and all the information about the lawsuit. But this past week, the Diablo 4 director and other Blizzard devs have been fired from the company. Activision Blizzard confirmed this. I'm looking at this article from Kat Bailey over here at IGN. At first, it was just reported by Kotaku that this would happen, but then Activision Blizzard did confirm that Louis Barriga, Jesse McCree, and Jonathan LeCraft were no longer with the company. Louis Barriga was the Diablo 4 director. Jesse McCree was the lead level designer, and Jonathan LeCraft was a World of Warcraft designer. And the Activision Blizzard spokesperson did say, quote, they said this to IGN, quote, "We have a deep, talented roster of developers already in place, and new leaders have been assigned where appropriate. We are confident in our ability to continue progress, deliver amazing experiences to our players, and move forward to ensure a safe, productive work environment for all," end quote. Good.
Yep.
This is 100% necessary. If I'm correct, they were, I don't know if they were named. Oh yeah, they were tied. Jesse McCree and Jonathan LeCraft. They were in the article here on IGN. It says here that they were both tied to the recent Cosby Suite report that Kotaku did. I'm pretty sure they were pictured, in that picture of all the guys on the bed holding the framed picture of Bill Cosby. Yeah, that sounds as bad as it looks as bad as it sounds, guys.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they were both pictured in that. And Barriga, I don't remember if he was in any of the pictures or anything like that, but clearly he was also connected to everything. So they have all been let go from the company. They are no longer there, which is great. Get rid of all the people that are terrible people. Yep. Continue doing this. Continue the purge that you need to do. Interestingly enough, I didn't know this, but McCree from Overwatch was named after Jesse McCree.
Yep.
So now fans are calling. Well, fans were already, but they're continuing even more now to call for the character to be renamed. I'm sure the Overwatch team can write that into their overarching narrative in some type of way. But yeah, I always went by McCree, but I don't like that name anymore. Now I want to go by blah, 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 blah. And there you go. You don't have to do a radical story rewrite to retcon stuff or anything at all. So yeah, good riddance. Good for the Blizzard devs over there that are seeing this change happen. And again, that's not to say that this is enough. These are just steps are necessary steps that are being taken to get to the place where progress can actually start to be made. Do you have anything to say about that before I move on to this next Activision Blizzard update?
I do not.
All right, the next one, which is actually a final Activision Blizzard update. There wasn't really too much that I saw this week in terms of Activision Blizzard news, but the company was criticized by a shareholder in regards to the company's response to the lawsuit and how they've been handling things. this IGN article by Joe Scrubbles here. He writes here, SOC, an investment group and shareholder of Activision Blizzard, has criticized the company's response to facing a recent high-profile lawsuit and widespread allegations for a toxic work culture and made demands for it to change. As reported by Axios, SOC Executive Director Dieter Weisenegger, I believe it's how this is pronounced, called the management response to Activision Blizzard's reported toxic work culture problems, quote, inadequate, and called on the company to do more to tackle the issues it's facing. In a letter published on Twitter by Axios' Megan Farokmanesh, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. Sure. I apologize if it's not. Weisenegger said that the updated statement from CEO Bobby Kotick included, quote, improved tone and increased detail, but did not go nearly far enough to address the deep and widespread issues with equity, inclusion, and human capital management, end quote. The letter also calls on Activision Blizzard to add a woman director to the board by the end of 2021, commit to gender balance on the board by 2025, claw back bonuses from executives found to have enabled abusive behavior, cancel executive bonuses for 2021, award bonuses based on achieving diversity goals in future, and conduct a company-wide equity review. And they also agree with the ABK Workers Alliance in rejecting Activision Blizzard's choice to institute law firm Wilmer Hale as an auditor. Weisenegger writes, quote, this firm has a sterling reputation as a defender of the wealthy and connected, but it has no track record of uncovering wrongdoing. The lead investigator does not have an in-depth experience investigating workplace harassment and abuse, and the scope of the investigation fails to address the full range of equity issues, Mr. Kotick acknowledges, end quote. This is great. I think it's great that a shareholder of Activision Blizzard is speaking out so loudly in support of the employees, but you know, also in speaking out so loudly in opposition to Activision Blizzard and saying, hey, you guys are not doing enough. You need to do better. You know, yes, Bobby Kotick's updated statement was good, that, you know, it's the tone and detail is appreciated, but you need to do more. You can do better. You need to do more. You have no choice but to do more. And these are the things that you need to do. So great. 100% great. I'm happy to hear this. I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see the company getting pushback, not just from the public, not just from employees internally, but from those that, like, you know, have a financial investment in the company as well. It makes a difference when, you know, they're getting attacked from all angles and there's like no one's letting up the pressure from any one side.
Yeah, I mean, money talks. You start taking away their money, that's when they're going to start implementing real change to get that money back.
Basically. So yep, those are our Activision Blizzard updates for this week. Of course, as always, as more updates and news comes on out in regards to this lawsuit, you can be sure that we will talk about it here on the show for, you know, no matter how, if it's small, big, if we talk about it, that'll determine how long we talk about it this week. Not too much going on, but still very noteworthy and important things that we needed to mention. Now, staying in the realm of people being fired for things that they might have said or that they may have said or done. Wow, this dog outside is just barking like crazy. Jeez, I don't know if you can hear it, but just like, what's going on out there, dog? Sorry. A developer over at Apex Legends, the lead designer, has been fired for sexist and racist posts that they made back in 2007. The community like dug this up and found this out. So I'm reading this. This is a fanbyte article by Ethan Davison. And this isn't so much a news article. It's more so a kind of a look at what happened and the why it happened and all. So I'm not going to read everything from this. I read this already. I read it earlier in the week. And again, I'll give a content warning here because they do have one at the beginning of the article. There's a content warning that the article contains quotes and sources to blog posts that are sexist, misogynistic, and racist in nature. In case that is, you know, disturbing or something that you don't feel comfortable hearing or you cannot hear, that is your little content warning. It's a heads up for you. So the lead game designer on Apex Legends, his name is Daniel Z. Klein, and he announced that he's no longer at Respawn anymore. And this happened after people on Twitter they found a sexist rant that he posted on DeviantArt in 2007. I didn't look at the rant at all, but reading here what Ethan has from Fanbyte, he says here, in the unearthed blog post, Klein wrote that women were irrational, said that XX were, quote, moron chromosomes, and that his readers shouldn't pay attention to a woman's online posts because, quote, it's just her vagina talking. Other writing from this period shows Klein making a racist joke about refusing to feed Africans with a punchline about African people's lack of hygiene. So continuing on reading the article here, Ethan says, the discovery of Klein's disturbing years-old post occurred the same week news surfaced about Activision Blizzard being sued by the state of California for rampant harassment and discrimination behind studio doors. Blizzard president J. Allen Brack has since stepped down to pursue new opportunities. Frances Townsend, the company's executive vice president of corporate affairs, has stepped down as the sponsor of the ABK's ABK Women's Network after sending an internal memo that dismissed the lawsuit's claims and accounts of workplace culture. Unlike Brack, however, Townsend remains employed by the company. Sorry, one more text here.
All right.
Cool. Okay, that's done. So that is what happened. That is what happened with him. That is what the blog post was about. And so he was let go from Respawn because of that. So at first, like this news kind of came out and all. And Klein, he's actually been, as Ethan notes here, he's been expressing solidarity with everyone at Blizzard because of what's been going on there. And he did admit that he wrote the stuff in the blogs and he apologized in a tweet saying, quote, I hope it is obvious I don't believe these things anymore. End quote. There's more to the apology, but I'm not reading the entire thing here. And Klein has been continuously, posting about the Activision Blizzard stuff and supporting all the employees over there, speaking out, so on and so forth. But the people, like the community over at Apex Legends, they weren't really feeling it. They weren't accepting of it, and they weren't really accepting of the response from Respawn either. One of the people over there, the director of communications at Respawn, Ryan K. Rigney, he kind of commented on the situation, saying, saying here, quote, I don't think anything from 2007 reflects on a person in 2001. People grow up, end quote. But regardless, he was still fired. EA still kind of let him go. And he was let go as of Friday, August 6th. So he did talk with Fanbyte on a phone call. Talked with the company. He talked with Fanbyte. And he's continued to basically just say that, he's not okay with what he did back then.
Yeah.
He recognizes that it was wrong. He knows that it was wrong. He should have been saying those things. And he doesn't try to shy away from it or anything like that. Be like, oh, that I didn't do that. Those are fabrications.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that. He's like, yes, I did that. That was who I was back then. But I have tried to become a better person since then, since those days where I was posting all these hurtful, terrible, awful things. I've tried, to be better at all. So here in the article, they talk about these actions that he tries, that he's been trying to make up for. And he says here, quote, he says, I was actively someone who would hurt other people emotionally because of my own insecurities, right? That is what you saw on display there. And it took me so long to even understand that this was a problem I had to fix. I don't think there's any apologies for that. I was just an awful person, end quote. But in recent years, as Fanbyte notes, he's been very outspoken in terms of supporting marginalized people and people who would normally deal with harassment or oppression, whatsoever in the games industry. So while they note here, while he was at Riot, because that's where he was before he was at Respawn, he was very vocal on social media about the toxic aspects of his workplace. This is me reading directly from Ethan here. And the misogynistic environment in the League of Legends community. Later, his support of a Riot-run PAX event for people who identified as female or non-binary led to an acrimonious Twitter exchange with fans who considered the event discriminatory for not being open to everyone. Quote, I blew up at this, he tells Fanbyte. Getting fired from Riot for calling misogynistic misogynist players man babies and for telling a concerned troll to F off and sea lion somewhere else, end quote. Soon after, along with another colleague, soon after Klein, along with another colleague, was fired from Riot for violating the social media policy. I forgot exactly what it was that happened. Oh, here we go. Basically, as they say here, in a Twitter thread at the time, Klein stated misogynist fans did not belong in the gaming community. Quote, they're not welcome here. They're not welcome in the gaming. They're not welcome in gaming anymore, he wrote. To strive towards justice, we sometimes have to be harsh and exclusionary. If they want to be welcome, hey, they could try not being absolute a-holes to women, end quote. And then even now, Klein stands behind what he says, stands behind what he said, adding that, quote, we need to give marginalized groups more accommodations, not fewer. And when there are bad faith attempts to shut down reasonable accommodations, we have to speak up, end quote. Now, I'll stop there because after that point in the article, you kind of start to get responses from the community and people's thoughts in the community. But the majority of what they have here is basically saying, well, at least some of what they have here is basically people saying that they're not really all that cool with his apology and they're okay with him being fired. Some of them, one person here says that they're for personal growth, but saying what you did and as a 30-year-old in 2007, like it's still a bit concerning.
Yeah.
What is your take on this, Keiran?
I mean, obviously he shouldn't have said that stuff in the first place. I don't think that's up for debate anywhere. But and I said this last week, I think, that like I'm very skeptical when it comes to like people's responses to like this sort of stuff, because it's like, oh, you're sorry, now you got caught. But you know, seeing what he has done between 2007 and now, I'm not so skeptical about this one, because it looks like he has been very outspoken toward like and supportive of different people in different communities. So yes, I still think he should have been fired, because I wouldn't have somebody, it doesn't matter if they said it yesterday or 14 years ago. Like, yes, you can work on yourself and you can change, but there's still a point where, like, I agree with that comment you just mentioned, so that it was like saying it as a 30-year-old, that's still a bit, concerning. So like this is one of the ones where I'm still happy of like the overall outcome, because I don't think there isn't room for people like that in the gaming community or industry. But I'm not entirely like against him, because he has obviously worked on himself and been very outspoken towards some of these issues.
Yeah, you see, for me, I look at this similar to the James Gunn situation. Which, if you don't know or don't remember, it was in 2019, I think it was 2018 or 2019. No, but it had to be 2018. Pretty sure that's when it was.
Yeah.
When James Gunn was fired by Disney, he was fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because people had dug up old pictures and like I think tweets of his from like over a decade prior of him making basically really stupid jokes, stupid and just like offensive jokes that were definitely jokes, but it's like still shouldn't have said it.
No.
And I think the pictures, like it was like pictures of a party, but like the party was definitely like it was a party where it's like, okay, this shouldn't be the party, or like this shouldn't be like what you're dressed up as at the party. I forgot the specifics of it, but he was fired. And it's like people were like, no, wait, he's not that person anymore. Like, that's not who he is. Like, he's changed. Why are we firing him just like so quickly without like even, discussing things with him, talking this out, like actually looking more into it and like doing actual investigation, where it's like firing right off the bat just to be like, oh shoot, hold on, we got this. This is what you did in the past. Bye. We don't want to be associated with that at all. And like not deal with any of the problems or like not deal with working that out or anything like that. And Disney did hire him back. He is doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I mean, in the interim, he worked on the Suicide Squad, the new one that just came out, and the cast of the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, they like put out an open letter which they all signed, basically saying, hey, like, James should not have been fired. Like,
Yeah.
he is the person he was back then is not who he is now. He is a very different person. He has definitely grown. And even I think around the time, James himself, he was like, yeah, like, I did that back in the day. I definitely shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm sorry for what I did back then. And I think he, even before that apology for the firing, well, when he got fired, I think he'd apologized even like in the past prior to that.
Yeah.
But like, he spoke, he's like, yeah, that's the thing I did. I'm not proud of it at all in any way, shape, or form. I'm still sorry for what I did back then. I have grown since then, but to anybody who I've upset or hurt or anything like that because of these past things, like, I'm deeply sorry for all that and all. And I look at this situation similar to that one, where that was 14 years ago when Klein said these things.
Yeah.
It's 14 years ago in 2007. And yes, while that what the person did say, or what the one community member said, where they're like, yeah, it was 2007, but saying those things at that age, it's like, it's still concerning. That while that can be true, I also think that it's just as true that you can say ignorant and edgy things as a full-on adult, but then grow over time and realize, hey, I shouldn't have been saying those things, period, let alone at that age.
Yeah.
And I can be doing better, and how I can and should be doing better, and can and should be helping these people that are in these groups that of oppression or marginalization or so on and so forth, what have you. So, like, it's not just like it's not just talk, he's also, as I said last week, put in the work and shown that he truly has grown in terms, just based off what I've read, from the story and what I know of the situation, being very outspoken for women in different marginalized groups and basically saying, hey, misogynists, you guys can screw yourselves and go somewhere. Like, we don't want you here in the gaming community. Gaming is, you guys, if you want to be in gaming, you need to be a better person. You can't be a misogynist out here. Being outspoken like that, in the current day and age, all these years removed from the initial 2007 blog post, I think it says a lot about him as a person. So, like, I don't think that he should have been fired, but like, I do think that, if Respawn wanted to talk with him internally on this, to get a better understanding, like, hey, what was going on with this, and then look at the things that he's done since then, and look at how he is now before making a decision, I think that would have been better. And it's possible that they did, and they still said, you know what, we just want to remove you from the company because all the stuff is going on at Activision Blizzard, and this is a hot button issue, hot button topic. We just had the thing with Fulbright last week. We don't want to be roped on into that at all. No. We gotta drop you. It's very possible that's the mindset that they had, and I actually think that might be the mindset that they had. I think it might be, just based off, again, from me personally, it seems like he's become such a better person. He's not that same guy he was 14 years ago. Even if he was a full-on 30-year-old adult at the time, you can change. You just simply can. So I don't think he should have been, but at the same time, I understand why it was done.
Yeah.
And, I just hope that he's able to bounce back from this. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of going off of what you said about the whole James Gunn situation, I think the difference for me is, obviously, just before I get into this, like, neither of these people should have said what they said, either joking or not. But that's the difference for me, is James Gunn was like very clearly joking when he was saying that Klein here like meant it. Like, this wasn't a joke. This wasn't him, try to have a laugh with a few of his friends. This was like his genuine thoughts at the time. So,
well, real quick, actually, I don't remember if it's here, It might. No, actually, yeah, it is in here. It's actually at the very end of the article. He says here, I forgot who it is that wrote the article. Ethan Davison here. He writes, reflecting on his post from 2007, he emphasizes, talking about Klein here, quote, I do not even remotely believe these things anymore, if I ever believed them. It was this edgelordy kind thing of like, ooh, I want to say this because it's going to get a reaction, not because I had a deep ingrained belief in these things. But that doesn't excuse it, or doesn't make a difference. The impact is the same. I harmed people. It's not for me to say if I've changed. It's for other people to say. End quote.
Okay.
So not to interrupt you or take away from
No.
your point, but based off what he's saying, it's not like, it doesn't seem like he actually believed these things. He was just trying to do it for, as people would say, do it for the lulz.
Yeah.
You know, he would just be like, if I say this, people are gonna be like, get mad or laugh at it or all like that, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
be sitting here like, ha ha ha.
Okay. Yeah. Then in that case, like if it was a joke, if it was like it wasn't like ingrained in his head, like that's how he was, maybe he shouldn't have been fired. I don't know. Like it's a difficult situation because
Yeah, it's nuanced. It's really
yeah,
nuanced.
I mean, you're like depending on who you are, your opinion is like some people will be like, I mean, it's even in here like Respawn's like somebody who works at Respawn said we can't hold or we don't think that comments from 2007 represent who he is today in 2021. But then you'll have people who are like, no, ban him, oust him from the industry, oust him from ever, blah blah blah. Which like I don't think there's like I don't think there's a correct response to this kind of stuff because you're gonna make somebody unhappy no matter what you choose, right? I
Mm-hmm.
I am of the opinion that he either should have been fired, which he was, or face heavy penalties for this stuff because
Yeah.
like I just I again I just I can't fathom even saying stuff like this. Just my brain doesn't compute it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean for me, like I say, I'm taking this one a lot less skeptically because he has done the work, he has put in time, he has made himself better over the years, which he has proven by how he's been vocal at Riot and the reason he was fired and why he has changed. I believe that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
and like,
yeah,
sorry, I was gonna say like part of the reason why also the Apex community is like happy with him being fired. It it's like part of it is because of what he said in the past, yes, but part of it's also because um just the way he would interact with people on social media.
mm,
Um like he would be, according to like some of the people here, uh he would be kind of like aggressive with people in the community. Um I'm reading here. Hold on. It's this is paragraph here that's after the one that starts, but while Respawn prides itself. It's near the end here, but it says here, I'm going to read directly from Ethan. He says here, Klein sees his social media interactions with players as a core part of his professional identity, that of an accessible game developer who communicates with the player base rather than someone who is remote, silent, and opaque. However, Saku describes his interaction with Apex players as mostly negative. Saku is one of the members of the Apex Legends community. He's a
yeah,
player, or they are a player, I should say. Um, uh, I know many people who quit the game because of his attitude. She's Hell's fanbite. I wouldn't even say he has a relationship with the community beyond an intent to antagonize people. Um, while Klein wrote his apology, and then going back to Ethan, while Klein wrote in his apology that he was, quote, embarrassed, sad, and angry at my younger self for saying this stuff, the caustic tone of his deviant art post is recognizable in some of his more recent social media use. In addition to his sometimes combative relationship with League of Legends players earlier this year, Klein responded to fans upset about balance changes in Apex by calling them, quote, nerds who scream into the void, end quote. So then one of the moderators, again, reading back from Ethan, one of the moderators of a popular online Apex community who preferred to remain anonymous tells Fanbyte in a conversation on Discord that the Apex community has been particularly critical of Klein's work as a developer and social media use. saying, quote, frankly, a lot of the stuff Klein wrote was terrible. Despite his best efforts, no matter the game he works on, the community ends up really not liking him. But at the same time, this person here, quote, they see a lot of people bring up his firing from Riot as a way to point out his flaws, and it's a scenario which I think requires a really nuanced perspective. I think it points to a man who has at least tried to change from what he said in those blog posts, end quote. And then they have here, Ethan has here talking about, they have a quote here from Ethan where he's talking about how he is on social media. And Klein, they say here, Klein acknowledges his sometimes impolitic use of social media, saying, quote, some days it's hard. Some days you just snap at someone and you go, but they deserve to be snapped at, right? It takes a lot of effort to stop bad impulses from taking over, and all I can say is that I've made progress for sure, end quote. So that's also part of why people are like okay with him being gone, but also part of why some people are a bit skeptical of his apology and not all that accepting of it, because they're like, you say you've changed and you've done these things, but also like your attitude, like, is still really aggressive and antagonistic towards other people. So like, there's still stuff that you got to work on, and that his attitude kind of makes it hard for some people to believe that he's changed, in any way, shape, or form, the way that he says he has and all. But even still, with all that in mind, at least my perspective on this again is that in relation to what he said back then, even as a 30-year-old or however old he was, as an adult, full adult back then, he has seemingly changed and grown and become, or at least tried to become, a better person and atone for what he did back then. And yes, he, as he says here, he could be aggressive and antagonistic, and it's just sometimes it's difficult to just it's difficult to fight the impulse to be like, hey, F off, like stop, like, to all these people who are just like constantly sending hate your way online because you're working on a game, what have you, whatever the case may be, but again, even then he's like, I've tried to make progress, I've been putting in work to try and be better with that as well. At the end of the day, everything here just points to someone who acknowledges that they were not the best person, and as an adult, when they should have, they were not in the best place they should have been, and they have been working, harder and harder just to try and be better than they were.
Yeah.
So on that level, with everything that he's done or seemingly done and said and everything, I don't think he should have been fired. That's where I fall on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've kind of said my piece for this. Like, I don't know. Difficult situation. I don't really have any sort of opinion as to whether he should have been fired or not. After going through this article in depth and kind of thinking about it a little bit, I'm kind of indifferent on it. They're really, in my head, there wasn't really a right decision Respawn could have made. If they kept him, they would have made the community unhappy because they fired him. They've now, he's without a job. I'm sure there are going to be some people in the Apex community who are unhappy he's been fired. I don't know. It's a little bit difficult.
Yeah. It's one that requires a lot of nuance.
Yeah.
To it, more so than like some of the past instances that we've talked about people being fired for things that they've said and done and all. But yeah, that is what's going on over there. So I really just hope the best for him, really. And there's also a Kotaku, I guess, report or piece where they also talked to him as well. I don't have that one here in the doc. I did read that one though. So if you are interested in learning a bit more or hearing more from Klein about the situation and everything, definitely go over to Kotaku. Definitely read the Fanbyte one first, but also go read Kotaku's. I forgot who wrote it. I've off the top of my head, I read it a couple days ago. But they're both two good pieces. They kind of go hand in hand with each other and give you a nice picture of the whole situation. Okay, so now we're gonna move away from negative news. It feels like every week now for the past month or so we've been like starting off with negative news and now the positive stuff. But this should be a fun, nice way to kind of round out the show here, or at least round out the news part of the show. We had 2 indie showcases this week, one by Nintendo and one by Xbox. And they both had a bunch of cool looking games, to be honest. I only saw the Nintendo one. I did not watch the Xbox one, but thankfully, from what I heard, the Xbox one was only 2 hours, not 4. So that is very good. Keiran, did you watch either of these?
I did not.
Okay, so got some cool games here to talk about. They're really cool. And I definitely highly suggest, if you have not watched any of these showcases, of course, go watch the showcases so you can see the games and everything, learn more about them. The Nintendo Indie World one was only like 20 minutes or so. As I said, the Idea Xbox one was 2 hours, bit lengthier, but I think there was still some good stuff in there for sure, based off what I read and everything. Now, we're not going to run down every single game that was shown at each showcase. But what I did was I just grabbed some of the highlights from each showcase. So, without further ado, we're going to start off with Nintendo's Indie World Showcase that happened. Some of them may have a bit to talk about. Some of them probably just going to be like a bam, bam, bam thing. So, first up, Axiom Verge 2 was shadow dropped this week. Came out the same day as the Nintendo Indie World Showcase. The first Axiom Verge was really highly acclaimed. I never played it, but I know a lot of people really liked it. And a lot of people have been looking forward to Axiom Verge 2. So this being shadow dropped the same day as the Indie Showcase, big deal for a lot of people. There are reviews out there. I haven't read any reviews yet. So I don't know like what everyone's feelings on the game are right now. But if you are an Axiom Verge fan, you're probably already playing Axiom Verge 2. And if you are not, go give it a look. If I'm right, it's like a Metroidvania type of game, pixel art and everything like that. And 2, if I'm correct, is a prequel to 1. So I don't know if you'll still I don't know if you should play 1 still before you play 2 for like any story stuff. I'm not quite sure. But by all means, definitely go give both games a look. Axiom Verge 2, that was cool. And that actually wasn't the first one in the show, but again, I just put everything here in order and I'm just going down. Tetris Effect Connected is also coming to the Switch on October 8th, and it will support crossplay. Tetris Effect Connected is on Xbox now. I don't know if it's on PlayStation right now or not. But Tetris Effect, the original, was originally a PlayStation exclusive. And I have Tetris Effect, and I have played a bit of it, not all of it. I'm not that good at Tetris, to be honest. Not really my game. But that game is visually really cool. It is like a visual, just like a sight for the senses visually, and then audio wise too. The music, some good music in there as well. So it coming to Switch, that's a nice place for it. It's a perfect platform for it.
I think it is on PS4. I don't know,
because
I know they have a Series X and Series S enhancement for it. So I don't know if they also have a PS5 one.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, because I know that Connected was like exclusive to Xbox for a bit, I think, or at least it was. I think maybe it was like launch exclusive. I don't remember exactly, but I knew there was like some exclusivity of some sort going on with Connected for a bit with Xbox. Then we got Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. That game is coming as a time exclusive to the Switch in 2022. This game is basically like, I guess you could say it's a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio, which is a game that I think, if I'm right, I guess you could say has like a cult following of sorts, has a cult fan base from like the Dreamcast days. Is that right? Is that the right platform for it? Dreamcast sounds right. And I think there was like a sequel to Jet Set Radio. I think it was called like Jet Set Future. I think I might be pulling this stuff out of thin air, but I don't think I am. If I have it in my head, I'm pretty sure I'm right on it. So yeah, from right, like people have kind of wanted like another one to come back. So Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is that. It's your spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. So yeah, that's coming time exclusive next year. Looks interesting. I don't know if I'll play it, but it does look cool. I like the style and everything that has going on for it. Then we have Loop Hero coming to the Switch this winter. This game was kind of making the rounds early this year in terms of like people being like, "Oh shit, this game is cool." I think it was originally or it is currently like a PC exclusive game. And if I'm right, it's like you basically you have a loop and you're stuck in a loop and you're just like going through the loop over and over again to try and save the world or something like that. Exactly. I don't remember the exact premise of the game, but that's coming to Switch this winter. Which again, the Switch is just the perfect place for any game, any indie game. To be honest, so it coming to Switch also just seems like the perfect move, like the right move for that game after being PC only for quite some time. Now, one of my favorite games from this show, I think this was the last one in the show, actually. One of my favorites from it, Eastward, coming to the Switch as a time exclusive September 16th. I'm going to read here the little like snippet they have from the IGN recap that they got here for Eastward. They say Eastward, also real quick, by Adam Bankhurst, who wrote this little roundup up. Says Eastward is an action adventure RPG that is set in a post-apocalyptic world and inspired by the best of 90s anime. It comes from the publisher of Stardew Valley and has you playing a hardworking miner named John who discovers a young girl named Sam in a secret underground facility. It was originally revealed back in 2015, but it's coming to Switch, time console exclusive September 16th. I like the art style of this game a lot. I think we saw a bit of gameplay in the footage we saw in the Nintendo Indie World Showcase. It just looks like a vibe. Like it just hits all like the right buttons for me. And I'm really looking forward to this one. I definitely want to play this game when it comes out.
Yeah, sorry, I was watching the trailer for it. Yeah, I mean it looks cool. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to play it. Doesn't look like my kind of game. I also wasn't the biggest fan of Stardew Valley. But I don't know if this game is all similar. But yeah, not sure if I'm going to play this or not.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's not. I mean, this is an action adventure RPG. Stardew Valley was like a farming simulator type of thing. So
yeah,
there's that. Then we got Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon that got announced. It's coming this winter. It's basically like Shovel Knight with like there's like a map that you like can kind of walk around and all. But then like if I'm right, the battles are like the dungeon crawling and stuff. It's basically like puzzle, like a match, kind of like a match 3 type of puzzle game in a sense. And all, it looks like it could be a fun time. Honestly, it's interesting seeing Shovel Knight just like branch off into like different things and everything. You had all the different expansions for the original Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight's getting amiibos. He's popping up a Smash as an assist trophy. He's popping up, in other games, and now we're getting a whole new different genre from Shovel Knight. It's cool. I never played a Shovel Knight game, but I'm all for it. I'm all for the franchise branching out and doing new things and stuff.
Yeah, I played Shovel Knight. It's a good game. I would recommend it.
You got Keiran's recommendation, his seal of approval. So go play the original Shovel Knight. Metal Slug Tactics got announced for the Switch. We first saw that honestly not too long ago.
E3.
E3.
Opening night live for.
There you go. Yeah, Jeff Keighley's thing, right?
Yeah.
Summer Game Fest.
There
we go. I couldn't remember where it was. I knew it was like the past 2 months, but yes, first saw it there. It got announced for the Switch. That's cool. I know people are excited about that game, so get excited to play it on the go on the Switch. Again, perfect place for it. Then there's this game Toem. It's announced for the Switch. It's coming this fall. I believe this game, at least I first saw it either during the Gorilla Showcase or the Wholesome Games Showcase. One of the two during E3 time. Basically, it's like a black and white game, like a small 3D space, everything. You're basically just going around photographing different things in the world and all. And like characters will give you tests like, hey, can you go do this for me? Can you go do that for me? I love the art style. It looks just like a nice, calm, chill time. It looks cool. It looks nice. So definitely go give that a look if that sounds interesting to you in any way, shape, or form. Then we got Boyfriend Dungeon, which I think I first heard about it years ago. But it got announced and shadow dropped as well, same day as the showcase for the Switch. And this is a game I ordinarily would not play or get the time of day, but I don't know what it was about the showcase when I watched it. I was like, yo, I actually kind of want to play this. And I think I might. For those who don't know, Boyfriend Dungeon is a dungeon crawler dating sim where you have your character, you're in this town, you do your dungeon crawling and everything, but the weapons you collect in the dungeons aren't just weapons, they are actually people. They are super hot and attractive people or a cat that you can date and be in a relationship with. And I am all for it. It's so weird and quirky, but it looks fun. It looks fun and it looks cool. So I actually think I want to give that game a shot and give it a go. I haven't downloaded it yet, but I'm probably pretty sure I'm going to do that. Pretty sure I will.
Yeah, I saw it got dropped on Xbox earlier this week. I'm in two minds whether I want to pick it up or not.
Maybe next week, if the both of us will be talking about Boyfriend Dungeon. Who knows? Maybe
best game ever. 10 out of 10. Game of the millennium.
Possibly. Who knows? And the final one I have here is Lumberjack. Announced for the Switch. It's coming next year. Basically, you play as a bear with an axe. You are trying to save your forest from this company that's coming around, basically, destroying the forest and everything. Honestly, I like the art style. It's goofy, like the game and everything. Like you're literally a bear with your axe walking around just no, but it looks fun. It looks fun. I like the look of it, the style and everything. It's got my eyes. It got my eyes, and I think I'm gonna play that when it comes out next year. It looks like it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer for it this time. I might pick up this game. That looks quite fun.
Hey, look at that. Don't sleep on indies, guys. Don't sleep on them. But these are just some of the highlights from Nintendo's Indie World Showcase. These are not all the games that they showed there, but these are about like half of them, I think. Every game that they show there definitely looked cool. So by all means, go watch the Indie Showcase. Go read up on the games that were there. Give them all a look and a watch, interest, all that jazz. They're all really cool games there. Now we're going to move over to the Idea Xbox Showcase. And again, go over some of the highlights that are over there. Now, Keiran, you mentioned that you don't like Stardew Valley, but guess what? Stardew Valley doesn't care because Stardew Valley is coming to Game Pass this fall. So whether you like it or not, many other people can play it now on Game Pass, if they're subscribed.
Yeah, I mean, the more people that can play games, the better, but I will not be playing it.
Stardew Valley is going to install itself on your system just like automatically the day it comes out. And like, you will play me.
It'll be like that U2 album that Apple put on everyone's phones.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot that happened, man. That's exactly what's going to happen with Stardew Valley. At least specifically for you, though. No one else.
Yeah,
just for you.
No, it's just me.
Next up, Evil Genius 2 World Domination. That is coming to consoles this fall and Game Pass on day one. It's basically, I just watched the trailer for this and I saw this. I was like, this is basically like Despicable Me, the simulation game, except it looks good. Not to say Despicable Me is bad. I like the first Despicable Me. I saw the second one. I don't really remember too much about it, but I think I liked it. But Evil Genius 2 World Domination looks like it could be a fun time. You got like 4 different campaigns that you play as like 4 different evil geniuses. You hire your minions and your special workers and everything, and all. It looks like it could be cool. So if you're into simulation games and you want to play as a villain who dominates the world, give Evil Genius 2 a look. And it's also in Game Pass day one. So like, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you got no reason to give it a try.
Yeah, no, I'm
got no reason to not give it a try. Let me rephrase that.
I'm probably gonna try this out. It looks really fun.
Nice. Sam & Max Save the World Remastered. That's now available on Xbox. I'm not sure about Game Pass, but it's now available on Xbox.
Don't think it's on Game Pass.
Right. The Artful Escape, that got a new gameplay trailer. This one, it kind of talked more about the cast for the game. Well, not more about the cast, but gave us like more of like background on the story. It showed like a whole lot more gameplay and everything like that. I am all in on this game. When I get an Xbox, I am playing this game. Oh, my nose. For sure. This game looks so cool. I'm loving the style. I'm loving the music. The story is seeming like really cool. I'm all in on it. I've been all in on it from day one when it was first announced. But I watched this today and I was like, oh man, this game. I hope this game is good. It needs to be good. It looks so good.
Yeah, everything I've seen of this game so far, I'm like, if I could like look at my kind of game, this would be the opposite of that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I always have wondered though. I'm just like, man, I wonder like what it would be like playing that game while I was like on an acid trip because it looks like an acid trip in
Yeah.
game form. And I just can't imagine if you just like double down and actually go on one while playing it. Just oh my gosh, that'd be bad, I imagine. Then we got a new trailer for Ollie Ollie World, showing off some gameplay and character customization. I've never played any Ollie Ollie game, but ever since this one was announced, I'm like, this seems cool. This seems fun. And this one, this trailer that they showed here for this for Ollie Ollie World, got me more into it. I'm like, huh, this looks fun, and I actually think I'll play this when it comes out. And it's not an Xbox exclusive, if I'm right. I'm pretty sure it's coming to other platforms too. I think it is. Hope it is. So I do want to play this one. It looks neat. Moving on now, Origami 2 got confirmed to be coming to Game Pass day one on September 17th. That is like the stealth ninja shadow game that they showed off during E3 times. No. It was Guerrilla Collective. Guerrilla Collective is where we saw that one. So yeah, that's coming to Game Pass September 17th. That's very cool. Aeon Drive or Eon Drive, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I'm going to say Aeon Drive. That game has a demo available on Xbox now. That is it's like a cyberpunk game, 2D pixel art cyberpunk game set in Neo Barcelona. And based on the gameplay that I saw, it is like very fast paced, very action heavy. But man, it looks really cool and really fun. I would definitely play it if I had an Xbox. I don't, so I cannot play the demo. But if you have an Xbox and it interests you in any way, shape, or form, by all means, go give it a look, give it a try. Aeon Drive, Aeon spelled Aeon, Drive, obviously spelled like drive. Then two more highlights I got. RPG Time, The Legend of Right. That's coming out this winter. This game got announced like a few years ago. And it's basically like you play as this kid the story is about this kid who wants to be like a game developer. And you're basically playing like an RPG in their notebook. Like everything in the game is like meant to be like hand drawn and handmade. It has like that type of art style and aesthetic. So like the RPG you're doing, like it's in the notebook, and everything in the notebook is like looks like someone sketched it out and drew it and everything like that. I love the style of it. It looks really cool. So by all means, give this game a look. Watch the trailer for it or something. It looks really cool. And then the last one I have here for the Xbox showcase, it's The Big Con. That one comes out the end of this month, August 31st, for consoles and PC. And we got a quick look at the game, saw some gameplay snippets and all. But this look during the ID at Xbox showcase was more about the casting announcements. That includes Erika Ishii, I believe is her name, who she's in Destiny 2 and Apex Legends. Don't know who she voices in either of them, but I know she's in them. And Dave, you got the scoops on Erika?
Ava Bray is who she voices in Destiny. Is her name Ava Bray, right? Hang on.
Okay, that sounds about right. So I was sitting here, I was thinking that, but I wasn't too sure because I haven't played Destiny 2 since Forsaken.
Anna Bray, sorry, not Ava.
There
Bray.
you go.
She was also in Critical Role, like one shot that they did.
I wouldn't know about Critical Role. Of course, you know it. So there you go. There's some reference points to you for Erika Ishii. Yeah. Dave Fennoy is also part of the cast as well. You might know him as Lee Everett from Telltale's The Walking Dead. He was also in Batman. I believe he was in Telltale's Batman as Lucius Fox. If not that one, he might have been Lucius Fox in like the Batman Arkham series. But Dave Fennoy has been in a bunch of games aside from just those. So you probably heard his voice in many different places. So yeah, Big Con, that looks cool. And the premise for that one, basically, you're playing as like this teenage con artist, essentially. I like it.
So a teenager.
Huh?
No, I was joking, saying so just a teenager.
That's funny. But yeah, it has like a cool like 80s, 90s style and aesthetic to it. It looks cool. It looks fun. So definitely keep your eye out on that one. And those are the indie highlights from the Xbox Showcase and the Nintendo Showcase this week. Definitely a lot of cool games. And again, like I said, these are just the highlights. That's not everything that was shown at each of these showcases. So again, by all means, go watch the showcases or read up on them for all the games that were shown at each one. There's a lot of cool stuff there. Give the indies some love and attention. So now we're going to move into not what we've been playing. Before we get to that, we're going to have a real quick talk about what some of our favorite games have been so far this year. Like we're in August, we're past the halfway point of the year.
Yeah.
And we actually have an opportunity where there hasn't been so much news this week where we can spend just a little bit of time just talking about just a little bit something else. So I'll talk about some of our favorite games so far this year. And we'll start the conversation with the games that actually came out this year. And then we'll transition and after that, we'll, mention any that we just might have played this year in general, whether it came out this year or not. So Keiran, you said you wanted to go first on this.
Yeah. So I have 3 that I can think of. So you said we're going to start with the games that came out this year?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one on my list, I haven't finished it yet. I bought it this week. I have played maybe like 4 hours of it, but I am so in love with this game.
I'm pretty sure I know which one it is.
Yeah, because it's on my list of what I've been playing this week. I bought Death's Door finally,
Nice.
like a couple of weeks after it came out. I am so in love with this game already. It's got a really good art style. The soundtrack's really good. It's a roguelite, which is like roguelites and whatever you want to call them are like slowly becoming one of my favorite game genres. Like love Diablo, love Hades. Now I love Death's Door. This game is really, really good.
I wouldn't say Diablo's a roguelike.
I would have assumed
Diablo. I'm pretty sure Diablo is more so just like a dungeon crawler, a loot-filled dungeon crawler. I don't think anyone's ever considered Diablo a roguelike.
I would have said Diablo's a roguelike.
I don't think anyone's ever considered it a roguelike.
I just wanted to see if anyone has, because now you've got me doubting myself.
If it is, then I'm wrong. I don't think I've ever heard anyone consider Diablo to be a roguelike.
Under genres, it has roguelike.
Okay, I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure. I'm sure people have said it's a roguelike before. Yeah,
I've just never seen it.
But yeah,
my apologies. Continue.
No, you're good. Yeah, Death's Door. Like I said, I've only played maybe like 4 or 5 hours. I'm away to go into the first boss area, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I don't want to get too much into it because it's not been out for that long, but it's got a similar setup to the other game, which I guess I'll just go into talking about now, Resident Evil Village, which you've got like the 3 kind of bosses throughout different areas. Death's Door, really good. Highly recommend it. I might touch on a little bit later on as well. But second game that came out this year that is on my list is Resident Evil Village.
Okay.
A game I genuinely did not think I would like as much as I did. I don't like horror games. I don't like survival games. It's like the ones where you have to like really carefully watch like how much ammo you have, how many healing things you have. Like the only game that I've like thoroughly enjoyed before Village, and I suppose Resident Evil 2 before, it was Metro, which is kind of like a similar game.
Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat. Like in the sense like you've got to like watch your ammo, watch your like health packs and stuff. But no, Village is definitely probably one of my favorite games. I don't want to say favorite games ever, but it's definitely like up there with some of my favorite games as I knock my mic. No, like again, the just the art style of Village alone like sells me. Just like that first scene where you walk like out and you see like the castle and the village below with like the music that kicks it's really, really good. But no,
nice.
story, gameplay, everything about that game is really, really good. Nice. Still need to go back and play Biohazard, but
I still gotta finish it. Honestly, I might finish it this coming week. I'm planning out the games I'm gonna play like the next 2 weeks. I think I might finish it in like the next week or two.
Yeah, the only thing that's like stopping me from going and playing Biohazard is like I know that game is scarier than Village. Not that like
Mm,
Village was terrifying. Like I don't think I think I've said this before. There was only really one point in Village where I would like pause my game. I'm like, nope, not doing it.
mm.
That can get out. But yeah, Village is definitely up there with definitely like my favorite horror game for sure that I've played because I haven't played a whole lot of them. But
Yeah.
no, that's definitely up there. Um, and then do you want me to just go into the
Yeah.
um
You could do all yours right now.
sure. Um, and then this next one is probably in my top 5 games I've ever played.
Wow.
And it's one you're playing just now, which is Control.
Oh, I was sitting here. I'm like, wait, what? It is? What do you mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, Control. Like that game is so weird, but really like it's weird in a really interesting way, and the weird
Mm,
very much plays into this game's favor. Like
yeah.
it's done in a way where like there wasn't a point where like I felt bored or that I wanted to put the controller down, just because I'm like I want to know what's going on with this. Like
Yeah.
I want to know how this situation came to be and how and like what Jesse's story is. But
Mm-hmm.
it's I will say that that game's combat is probably in my opinion the game's strongest point, 100%.
100%. I mean, it's on my what I've been playing this week, so I'll talk about it more there because I did finish it this week. Um, so, but I'll talk about it more then. But I 100% agree with you on that. The combat is the best thing about the game.
Yeah. Um, like especially when you get the levitate ability, it's my favorite ability in the game.
Yeah.
I
Well,
because
maybe that's my second favorite. The launch is still just
yeah. Um, but like I think that the levitate adds like an entirely new way to play the game, because like you can be on the ground running around, but like if you want to get up high and get like look at enemies behind cover, or like you can dodge while you're in the I think that adds so much more versatility and replayability to the game, that like
yeah.
you can go into two of the exact same fight before you have levitate and after you have levitate, and they play out entirely differently. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I say, Control is absolutely in like my top 5 games I've ever played. It's really good. I still haven't finished the DLC for it, which I like. Every time I look at it in my sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask. I did everything. I did all the DLC before I finished. No, I did the AWE, finished the game, then did the Foundation. Because Foundation, you can only do Foundation after you finish the story.
Yeah,
AWE, you can do starting chapter 7.
yeah.
So I did AWE then. Did you do AWE or no?
I haven't done any of the DLC yet. Well,
Uh,
I've done a little bit. I think I've done a little bit of AWE. I haven't finished either of them.
all right, that gives me context for how specific I could be with certain things when I'm talking about the DLC.
Um, so yeah, like every time I see it in my like Xbox library, I'm like, I need to finish it. Like, should I just finish you now? No, I'll give it another. I'll wait a little bit before I finish that. But no, like, yeah, Control definitely in my top 5 games I've ever played.
Nice. I will say the 2 DLCs combined will probably get you a good 6 hours.
Yeah.
So if you, in terms of like, if you're trying to like gauge, all right, like when should I do it? Like how much time will I have? I think each one is about 3 hours or so, just about. So that should maybe help you. I don't know. Just give you a frame of reference of sorts.
Yeah.
But those are some of your favorite games. That's it for this year. Some of your favorite games.
Yeah, I mean, the only other one I can think of is a game I finished this year, which is Valhalla, which is easily my favorite Assassin's Creed. But I that's that. I think that's all I really want to say about that game. But yeah, very, very good game. I would recommend playing.
Cool. All right. So I had 5. You kind of starting to sway me on adding Control to my list. I'm not gonna lie. It was not on my list at first. It was not on my list. What you said might sway it on there. I'll get back once I get through everything else. I'll come back to that thought. So in terms of games that came out this year, New games that came out this year. For me, going back to the beginning, Persona 5 Strikers. Again, this is not like ranked or anything. I'm just listing stuff off. Persona 5 Strikers. I mean, if you all listened to us when we were Games and Gaming, before we did Play to Win and all like that, I was constantly talking about how much I love Persona 5 Royal and how that game was amazing. And I think I've talked about it now, about how Persona 5 Royal is one of my favorite games ever. It is my second favorite game of all time. Sometimes it fights for number one with God of War 2018. That game is immaculate. It's incredible. It means so much to me, and it had such a huge impact on me. Like it just means the world to me. So going into Persona 5 Strikers, I was like, yo, like I just want more Persona 5, man. I just want to spend more time with my friends. I wanted to have so much fun with the combat. And like I said in my review, the story has some bumps along the way. Like the story isn't like as good as Persona 5 Royals, but that was gonna be a tall task to surpass anyway. But like the story itself was still like really enjoyable for just like just for like the character moments alone. It's just like so good and so much fun. And it all wraps up so beautifully in a way where like the final boss, after playing Persona 5 Royal, the final boss kind of sort of feels like a repeat of what happened in Persona 5 Royal's ending. But even still, like it's still different enough in a way where it's like, you know what? If this is the last time that we play as the Phantom Thieves and have a game surrounding them, this is the perfect send-off for them. Like it's just the perfect way to say goodbye to these characters. It's so much fun. It's such a great story. And like the combat was great as well. The action Muso style blended perfectly with the turn-based combat nature that Persona 5 Royal had. It's just so good. It was so much fun. And of course the music bangs. Music bangs. I listen to that music every day. I have 6 songs. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 5. I have 5 songs from that game on my phone. I listen to those 5 songs every morning before I go to work. They're just so great. Such a great game. Loved it. Next up, it is Returnal. Returnal was such a good game. And now again, I don't play roguelikes. I normally would not because I understand the appeal, but normally that just doesn't appeal to me. Just like the die and usually like the high difficulty, the die and restart all over again with like nothing type of gameplay doesn't really appeal to me. But I was like, you know what? Like I said before the game came out, and I think even when the game came out, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to play each, or at least try to play each of the PlayStation exclusives for this generation to have an idea of what they're all like and everything. And then as we got closer to release, more and more, like I looked more into Returnal, and I was like, it seems interesting. It seems like it could be fun. And I played it, and I'm so happy I did because that is such an amazing game. Yes, it's $70. Yes, it's a roguelike, but I promise you, it is worth every dollar. It's worth every penny. It's such a great game. The story, it's mysterious, it's weird. It's like you're constantly wondering what's going on, like what's happening here, why is this happening, why are we stuck in a time loop, why is Celine's home on Earth here on this alien planet, like what's going on. And like the world has like different, like you're learning about what happened on the planet of Atropos and why things are the way they are there, and then learning how you play into the things that are happening on Atropos as well. It's just such an intriguing and immersive story. I just found myself so absorbed in it. And like the gameplay it's fast paced, it's fun, it's addicting, it's action packed, it's electric. Just you get into a room and like you see, all right, the enemies come on in, and you just start pow, 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 pow. You just like dash over, you like run and jump, trying to avoid everyone while you're trying to avoid death while still taking out the enemies as well. It was just so cool. And then you have all the different weapons too, and how they each play and feel and stuff. It was just so much fun. That's such a good game. And I haven't gone back to get the actual true ending since I played it, but I do want to go back and try it because I've been thinking about replaying it since then. But man, Returnal, that game, that is my biggest surprise of this year so far. I did not think I wasn't sure if I was gonna like that game, but that game blew me away. It is 100% deserving of the score I gave it and all the praise that it has gotten since release. So next up, Knockout City. Knockout City is such a fun game, man. I haven't played it too much for this new season just because I'm trying to take advantage of this window of time that we're in right now and just blow through a bunch of games that I have in my backlog. So I do want to go back to Knockout City and do some of the new season, but man, that game again, talk about a turnaround from a game's first reveal where I'm just like, this looks generic and just like kind of lame, and then playing the beta, I'm just like, yo, I just spent an entire weekend playing this game. I don't thought I was gonna play for 1 hour. Talk about a turnaround. That game was a lot of fun. People are sweaty as ever on that game now. Dear Lord, I jump in that game now. It's like I'm playing with 2 left thumbs. Regardless, I still have a lot of fun playing that game. That game is such joy. It's such a blast to play. I cannot recommend it enough, guys. Everyone should go play Knockout City. It's so good. Such a good game. It's a lot of fun. And like even now when I do play it, like times I jump in, I'll be like, all right, I'll just play for like 30 minutes, proceeds to play for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It just has that effect on you because it's just so fun and so addicting. So yeah, there's that. And then next up, I'll say Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I got the platinum on this week. I didn't put on my what I've been playing just because I just knocked out. I actually wasn't even trying to get the platinum. Just playing the game naturally, I got all the trophies except for 2. So then when I went, I was like, oh shoot, you know what? Let me just get the platinum. And that's how I finished off my new game plus for it. So I got the platinum. And again, like I said in my review, this Ratchet and Clank is the PS5 game to play. If you have a PS5 or if you're going to get a PS5, it is the game you need to play. You have to get this game and play it. It's the definitive hardware showcase. From like in terms of like just tech wise, the whatchamacallit, the SSD and like the rifts and the portals and everything. So it's so cool. Just like how the rifts and portals are implemented and just seeing like the speed at which things load in. Like again, I'll never forget when you get to the planet Blizar Prime and you get there and it's just totally destroyed and stuff. But then you see a Blizon statue, a Blizon rock, right? A stone. So you hit it. And then the entire planet, like dimensions change, and you're just in a completely rebuilt version of it in a split second. Just like that. It just loaded right in front of you that fast. And it's just like, wow. Okay. Like that was just one of the moments where it's just like, this is cool. And like for some, you might be like, yeah, it draws comparisons in a sense to cause and effect or effect and cause from Titanfall 2, the time travel level. It draws comparisons to that. But I think this is different in a way because it's like, it's just the level of detail in everything that's being loaded in. It's just, of course, just leagues ahead of Titanfall 2's. I think I saw a video talking about how Titanfall 2 did theirs. I forgot what exactly the trick was that they did. But man, Ratchet and Clank, like from that tech level alone, like that, blew me away. Gameplay wise, blew me away. It's classic Ratchet and Clank gameplay, but fine-tuned and brought up from the modern day. So like it's just a blast. It's so much fun. It keeps the same Ratchet and Clank joy and action and platforming and all, just in the modern day. And it's so much fun. DualSense helps that out. You know, you got the obviously I'm not playing right now, but when you're shooting like one of the guns or some of the guns, when you push down the trigger, right? The right trigger, and it'll be like just like literally bouncing up and down in your fingers while you're doing it. I can't show you now because not only is my PS5 not on, but I also deleted the game after I got the platinum. So I wouldn't be able to show you, but it's so cool. That it's a lot of fun. So definitely that's up there for sure. And then what the heck? Seven remake Intergrade Yuffie's episode. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that way more than I thought I would, and I'm very excited for what's coming next from that. And I'm not going to put Control on here. Sorry to disappoint you.
But why? It's an amazing game though.
It's a great game. I'm not saying it's not. It's an amazing game. It's just not one of my favorite games of the year. I thought it was great.
Fair.
I thought it was great. Everything else, I would say, is better, in my
That's
opinion,
fair.
or at least I enjoyed more. So that's been it. So yeah, those have been our favorite games so far this year. And of course, once we get to the actual end of the year, we'll do our whether it be a top 10, top 5. We'll figure something out. We'll do our actual
Yeah.
like game of the year thing when we get to the end of the year.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little kind of little bit over the halfway point. Just look back on
Yeah.
where things have been so far.
Game of the half year.
That'd be tough for me to do right now. I don't know. All right, but now we'll actually real quickly, talk about what we've been playing. Keiran, you want to just continue on
Sure.
with your Death's Door?
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying before, beautiful art style, very good soundtrack. It's like the combat is really, really, really fun. I've gotten 3 of the 5 weapons so far, 6 weapons.
Okay.
And 1 of the spells. But like that, I really, really like that this. It's a roguelike, so like when you die, you get sent back to, like, you have to basically restart the entire area again. All the enemies respawn, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I also like how it's like equal parts roguelike to, I would argue, like a puzzle game, kind of.
Okay.
So like, just for instance, there's one where, I don't know if puzzle is the right way to describe it though. It's basically the part I'm thinking of is like, there's a part where you're going down, like you're on like an escalator conveyor belt kind of thing, and you have to shoot your fire spell into a furnace, but you have to like time it right as you're going along so that you can, like, there's a thing blocking your path, which will like go back, and there's a decent amount of like, I would say puzzles in this game, that I like. Although probably the most notable thing I can say about this game is challenging. This game, like, it doesn't hold your hand. There's no like, grace period of like, oh well, we'll make the enemies, maybe slightly easier in this area so that they're hard, so they're more easy. No, this game just like throws you right in. Like the first boss that I fought, well, maybe the second boss, I guess you could say, but I think it's called the Keeper of the Door. Genuinely took me like probably 7 or 8 tries to beat, because like, I think it's challenging to begin with, but then it's like when you learn their move set, then it's still challenging to a degree. It's just it's a lot easier than when you first encounter them. But
yeah, like in a Souls game, kind of sort of. It's like the challenge at first is learning what their moves are. Then it's like, all right, I know what the moves are. Now it's how do I adapt to them? Now I know how to adapt to them. Now it's got to execute. Yeah,
basically. I think the only thing I don't like about this game so far is like the dodge mechanic for me. This might just be a me thing, not timing it right, but the dodge mechanic for me is a little bit off. Not to the point where it's like unplayable or unusable, but just like, I'll dodge and then like an attack will still help me, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I dodged out the way of that. But yeah, Death's Door, really good. Would highly recommend picking it up if you have an Xbox. It's £16.
Yeah, I definitely want to get it. I've been interested in it since it was first announced. So it's one of those games where when I get an Xbox, definitely going to get it. Side note, Walmart did a restock the other day on Xbox Series X's, and I was going to try and get one. Walmart, you suck. I'm going to look you in the camera right now. Walmart, you suck. I'm sorry. Because they had this thing where I understand, I applaud their attempt. I'm assuming that's what it was for. Their attempt to like try and stop bots. Like, you go to the page and you click on it and you go to do add to cart, but then it comes up with this thing on the screen says to press and hold, right? And then like it fills the screen, it fills the bar up, and then it's supposed to be like, all right, you're good to go. I kept doing it and it kept saying error. Please try again. Please try again. I tried doing that like 10 times. I said, I'm not even bothering. It is not worth it. It is not worth my time and energy. And I was not the only one. On Twitter, everyone was saying, what the heck? What the heck? So Walmart, you suck. I understand your attempts and I applaud your attempts to try and stop bots, but actually let humans get through past your bot blocking attempt, please and thank you. Continue now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, side note, I agree. I like that they're trying to do something to stop bots, but that seems a little bit weird. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about Death's Door. My week has been entirely spent playing roguelikes because I've Hades. I've been playing Hades. Yeah, my brain was just like, just say the name of the game. Yeah, Hades came out yesterday on Game Pass for Xbox. So I've been playing that basically yesterday and a little bit today before I did something else.
Can't say what that is,
yeah.
but I'm very jealous of you. I wish I
Yeah.
could have. I probably could have if I like knew about it beforehand, but I can't. I didn't know. So
you might still be sign up for it. I don't know. It might be worth looking into. But so yeah, can't talk about that, but I can talk about Hades. I will say the controls used to like took me a little bit of time to get used to because I'm used to like button mashing on PC and it's a different thing getting like button mashing on console. Because like the buttons weren't exactly where I thought they would have been. Like for attacks and dodge and everything, that's fine. But for like talking to people, accepting things, going at the next chamber, it's RB, which I thought was like a tiny bit weird. But it didn't take me that long. Didn't take me that long to get used to. But I mean, it's Hades. It's as fun as it is on PC.
Nice.
Okay, so I've never beaten Hades yet, but
wow.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm not good at video games. Been over this, but genuinely, my third run into Hades on Xbox, I got to Hades.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
Did you beat him though?
No, didn't beat him. But I got to him for the first time, like 3 runs into my, well, actually 2 because the first one's like a tutorial kind of run. But yeah, I was like, how did I end up here?
Wow, good for you. Clap it up.
Yeah.
Clap.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, no, like for anyone who has Game Pass, I'm gonna say it for everyone who has Game Pass. I don't know why I said that twice. But
yeah, I thought you were gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, for everyone who has Game Pass, you have to play Hades. It's so fun. It's such like this game is easily like last year when it came out early access. This game is 100% my game of the year. Like, it's Supergiant absolutely nailed it. Like, blew it out of the park with this game. I'm going to be playing this for quite some time on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to get it on PS5 or Switch, which is what I've been dealing with ever since I knew it was coming to other consoles. I was like, do I play it on Switch? Do I do it on PS5? Where do I want to do it? I have yet to decide. Maybe I'll do it on PS5 first, and if I like it a lot, I'll get it on Switch as well.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
But that's cool. You need to pick up that game as soon as possible.
I'm debating. Right now there are 2 other games I'm thinking of playing getting soon. One of them, which is definitely critically less acclaimed than Hades. Both are, but one of them is far less critically acclaimed than Hades, those being Avengers and Scarlet Nexus. I don't know why. I've just kind of been in the mood to play Avengers. Not sure why. I could get it for $25 at GameStop. I looked online.
Yeah.
Didn't buy it. Scarlet Nexus, I could actually get for $45 GameStop as well for PS5. Interesting. So yeah, I might get both of those or one of them. I'm trying to decide. I have yet to decide yet though.
Why buy 2 games when you could buy 3 and get Hades as well?
Yeah, why spend less money when you could spend more? Why manage your money, Tyler? Just buy everything.
You don't need food. You need Hades.
Exactly. Now, what I need is to get through these 3 games that I've been playing this week. So like I mentioned already, one of them is Control Ultimate Edition, which I did finish. I finished the main story. I finished all the DLC. I enjoyed that game. It's a great game. Like we both said already, the gameplay is by far the best thing about this game, the combat specifically. Never, ever, ever did I get tired of just launching stuff at people. And whenever people had the shields, I will launch something at them once and then grab it again, just toss it at them again. Just like I powered my launch up so much that it was like really strong. So I could just like one shot pretty like people that were on my level, I could one shot stronger enemies or people with shields. I had to like two-shots them. So I'd be
Yeah.
like, launch, bam, grab that same thing again, just toss it right back at you. And then like I had to select, I was, pick up the people or the big people as well. So I'm like, all right,
Yep.
the exploding hits that would fly to you, I would shoot them and then get them weak enough where I could grab them, toss, and then toss them at a person and blow them up and everything. Oh, they said, oh, okay. I thought plans were delayed, but they never said anything. So, oh wait, no, they're leaving. So, all right, I got a bit. We're almost on the show anyway, so we're good.
Yeah.
I'll get there before they get there. I should at the very least. So yeah, Control was really good, really fun game. I will say the story felt a bit rushed at the end.
Yeah.
After you meet your brother, once you meet your brother, from then on, I feel like things kind of rushed to get to the conclusion.
Yeah.
And like that final chapter, I was like, like it seemed like we were trying to like, all right, this is the ending. Let's just wrap this up real quick. Because I was like, oh, okay. It's kind of a abrupt way to end things and all. It feels like there should have been like another hour or so to like kind of like pace that a bit better. But regardless, I still enjoy the story. The Foundation DLC takes place after the main story is done, like I said. That's actually surprisingly difficult. More difficult than the AWE. Both of them are the same level, like enemy-wise, they're both the same. But Foundation's DLC was a bit harder for me, mainly because there's a type of enemy hiss that they're grounded people, they're melee based, but they teleport to you. Like they run up on you real fast and they teleport up to you. And like you'll be like, all right, let me just launch in the air. Nah, they will throw their stuff at you while you're in the air, and they're strong. So that was pretty tough. But that was cool. The AWE DLC, that's the one that people were hyped about because of Alan Wake being in it. My friend is texting me, and yes, I remember the place. I'm leaving in like 10 minutes. Won't take me long to get there. Let me clarify as well. I thought things were delayed. But I'll be out soon. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So AWE, that was the one with like it has Alan Wake in it. People were like really hyped about it, stuff like that. And it's cool. It brings in some of the Alan Wake gameplay in terms of like light and the darkness and stuff, that because that was like really key and important in Alan Wake. Like you needed light to defeat enemies and all. So that plays a part in the Alan Wake DLC and everything. Overall, the story for that, it's cool. It's interesting. It definitely teases like maybe more Alan Wake stuff is to come in the future. I will say you haven't gotten into it yet. That DLC, the final boss is honestly the worst boss in the entire game. Dear God, I hate that boss. Because it takes place. The story not. So basically, the boss fight plays around with the whole light stuff that's been going on in the game. But like some of the mechanics for the boss, it's tough to talk about without actually spoiling what the boss is and how it works and all. Just know that boss is very annoying. The best way to deal with that boss that I found was, do you have the Surge?
Yes.
The Surge gun? All right. Use that on that. Just use that on the boss. Use that on the boss and fly. Stay in the air as much as possible. Because if you are on the ground, that boss, it has a move where like it teleports. It teleports around randomly. And when it teleports, it'll teleport like next to you. And it could do this thing where it'll grab you and take away a bunch of your health. So if you're in the air, it can't do that to you at all.
Yeah.
So I literally just like, it still has other moves it can hit you with while you're in the air that you have to dodge. Even dodging that sometimes is tough to do. But stay in the air. Make sure you bring when you get like right before the boss fight, both DLCs actually have this, like you can call in a ranger to come help you out. like right before the boss fight, you go up to this thing. It's like, hey, send a ranger, and like just an NPC that comes to help you with the fight.
Yeah.
Do that for this fight. Do
Mm.
that so you have like an extra body there to like draw attention for you or whatever.
Yeah.
Stay in the air, dodge moves, shoot the surge on it. Just shoot the surge, reload, and chuck launch stuff at it. And then once it gets to the phase where it starts like making the area dark, constantly just keep surging, keep shooting the surge on him and toss the launch stuff at him, specifically when it's about to make the area dark, because it does. The second phase of the boss fight comes when it has 1 HP left. You get it to 1 HP, then it gets to the second phase where it makes the area dark and it gets all shield. So what you have to now do is whittle its shield down to take away that 1 HP. And that's where the fight gets incredibly annoying. The fight is like a bit annoying before that, but it's like, it's difficult, but not that bad. That phase of the fight gets incredibly annoying and difficult because you're not just dealing with him, you're also dealing with other enemies as well.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. It's so annoying. Like, who thought, let's get to 1 HP and then make you do the entire fight again, basically. It's annoying. Granted, I was like, I did it before I beat the game. So like, of course I was under leveled at that point too.
Yeah.
But like, I had gone through everything else prior to that just fine. That fight was a pain. It's annoying. And I looked on Reddit and like everyone on Reddit was saying that fight was annoying too. So keep that in mind. It's a terrible boss fight.
I want to tack on 2 really quick points because I know you're in a rush.
Go ahead. Keep going.
So one, I really love the big bold letters when you go into an area. Don't know why. I find that incredibly satisfying. And 2, I think you don't like this, or you said it was a little bit annoying, but I actually really like the collectibles in the game.
Yeah, I had said that there's a lot of collectibles.
Yeah.
And it's funny, there's a trophy for collecting 120. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I got it, but I didn't even realize that there were that many. It's like, what I said was that it was a bit annoying that there's not necessarily that there's so many, it's more so that there's so many that kind of seem like it's just there to be there.
Yeah.
In a sense where like, it doesn't really add importance to the world building. It's more just like, hey, let's do our book club. Hey, did you do that? It's like, I get it as character and color, but like a lot of it is just like, okay. But I mean, overall, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It was just, I still picked up everything I saw and stuff.
Yeah, no, I actually really like all the collectibles because I think Remedy really, really nailed out the park with the world building for this game. Like the oldest house is a really interesting and unique setting that for a game. So I really enjoyed basically everything I found during my playthrough of Control.
Gotcha. So the final 2 games I've been playing this week are A Plague Tale: Innocence. Started that up. I'm on chapter 4 of 16. I'm enjoying this story a lot. I'm playing the PS5 version specifically.
Yeah.
Really cool, really interesting story. I'm not getting into specifics because time, and also I know that I think you want to play it at some point in time.
Probably.
But basically you and your brother are on the run from this group called the Inquisition. I think it takes place in France back in the day during this plague that's happening. And they're trying to get your brother for reasons that get explained during the story, and I won't explain right now. You kind of know some of it at the point I'm at, but not all the details. But your parents end up dead. Your parents end up murdered, and you are on the run. So you're trying to avoid the Inquisition that's chasing you down, but you're also trying to like work around and avoid the rats that are like causing this plague. And that's what you've seen a whole lot of in like footage of this game. If you ever see it, it's like the hordes of rats, it's the swarms of rats that are like, it's not just like, oh, it's just a normal swarm. Like this swarm like destroys the ground, destroys walls, like to get into places. And their nests are utterly disgusting. And it's like blood and body filled. It's crazy and really disturbing. But when you're around the swarms, the haptics in the DualSense, they're constantly vibrating in a sense where it's like you feel the rats in the controller. Yeah. I love it. It's really cool. But other than that, the gameplay, it's simple. The stealth hiding, it's not complex. It's real simple, basic stuff. Like, let's toss this to distract them. Let's toss that to distract them. The puzzles haven't been that complex. It's just like, let's knock that down. Simple stuff, but overall, the gameplay is still cool, and the story and characters I'm really into. So I'm going to I don't know if I'll finish it this weekend, but I'm definitely gonna play some more of it this weekend. And the final game I've been playing is Splitgate. Played about 4 matches last night. This is that it recently came to console, but it's been on PC for a few years, if I'm correct. First person shooter that's basically Halo mixed with Portal. And I'm not joking when I say Halo, as in like some of the weapons are straight up basically like Halo weapons mixed with Portal in terms of like the portals and everything. It's cool. It's a fun game. Like I said, I only did 4 matches and all last night, but it's neat. The portal gimmick that you could use to like teleport around the maps and all. It's actually really cool. It's really fun. So I definitely want to get my hand, like play some more of it, spend some more time with it and all. I will say, them saying before, like I mentioned, brief mention that they want to bring it to Switch and mobile. It looks like a mobile game in terms of the UI. When you get to the main menu, you'll understand what I mean. And like the post-match stuff looks like it would be right out of a mobile game. So it makes sense that they want to bring it to mobile. And also graphically, like it's not even that graphically intensive, to be honest. So it could easily be on Switch and mobile. But regardless, it's a fun game. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm going to try and finish a Playtale this coming week and then start something else. What that will be, I do not know. I have yet to decide.
Hades.
No. Maybe not. That will be the end of episode 20 of the Play to Win podcast. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to go subscribe to us on YouTube at, Play to Win over on YouTube. Subscribe, turn the notification bell, like, comment, and share the videos. And, subscribe on podcast services, leave comments, reviews, share the show anywhere and everywhere. Follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game for updates on the show and all that jazz. Keiran, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word.
Fantastic. You could follow me over on Twitter at Tyler Miller 2496. You all know the stuff. I already tweet about a bunch of stuff, gaming related, anime related, movie related, all that jazz. So follow me over there. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the show. We will talk to you all next week. Have a good one.
See you later.